Welcome to Breakaway Chiropractic, where we help you on your journey to higher health. Discs don't slip. They change in stages, and each stage has a name by its severity, and also a very different outlook. Start with what a disc actually is, a soft, water-rich core, which is called the nucleus pulposus, sealed inside 20 or so rings of tough collagen, the annulus fibrosus. Behind it is the spinal canal, and just to either side, the nerve roots that leave the spine. Remember where those are at. Stage 1 is a healthy disc. A healthy disc is a pressurized cushion. It carries your body weight, spreads that evenly throughout the spine, and lets the spine bend in every single direction. Full height, full water content. This is our baseline. Stage 2 is disc desiccation, which is the first stage, and it's drying. The core loses water, disc loses height, and the rings start to take a load that your body was never designed to carry. This shows on almost every scan after the age of 40, and most people feel nothing. Stage 3 is an annular fissure, a tear. Load opens a small radial split into the outer rings, near always at the back corner where the annulus is the thinnest. Nothing has moved yet, but the outer third of the nerve endings are still there, so the tear alone can hurt. Stage 4 is a bulge. A bulge is broad. The disc's outer edges pushes past the vertebrae across more than a quarter of its circumference, but intact, and the core still inside. Because the pressure is spread over the wide front rather than concentrated, a bulge can often be completely silent. Stage 5 is disc protrusion. It is focal, less than a quarter of the way around, and that is the definition. Wider at its base than at its tip. Core material is pushed into the tear, but the last ring is still containing it. Symptoms start referring to the butt, thighs, shoulders, and arms. Stage 6 is an extrusion. This is a moment where the containment fails. Material breaks through the final ring and the displaced portion is now wider than the neck behind it. What follows is a chemical as much as a mechanical inflammatory material reaching the nerve. This is why the leg and arm pain now outweighs the back pain. Stage 7, sequestration, when a fragment breaks away entirely. It sounds like the worst outcome. It usually isn't. Free fragments reabsorb more reliably than any other type. The body recognizes a tissue and clears it, often within a few months. Stage 8 is radiculopathy. Severity here is not about size, it's about proximity. When displaced material meets a nerve root, you get a radiculopathy. Sciatica down the leg to the low back, or pain and weakness into the arm from the neck. Stage 9 is endplate changes. Eventually the damage crosses into the bone. The marrow beside the endplate inflames and turns fatty, then hardens. These are Modic changes, and type 1 in particular tracks closely with deep, persistent mechanical back pain. Stage 10, degenerative spondylolisthesis. At the far end, the disc is flattened and the joints behind it is worn. The vertebrae above slides forward and the canal narrows. Classic sign is heaviness and cramping in both legs when you walk, and it tends to disappear when you sit down. To recap the 10 stages, but severity on a scan is not the severity of life. Most of these findings appear in people with no pain. Most herniations shrink on their own as well. What the disc can't recover is water and height, but what it can gain is support through strength and exercise. First exercise is the dead bug. Press the low back flat and keep it there while the opposing arm and leg lower. Brace, but without bending the disc. Bird dog. Reach long, not high. Make sure your hips stay level. The next one is a front plank. Your elbows under your shoulders, drop to your knees before you let your hips sag. Stop when your form breaks, but not when it burns. Number 4 is side plank. Shoulders and hips are stacked in one line. This trains the muscles that control side-to-side shear. The load the disc handles the worst. Glute bridge. Drive through your heels, finish with the glutes. Not by arching the back. Strong hips means the low back stops covering for them. The chin tuck is for the neck. Slide the head straight back over the shoulders. Don't nod and don't force your head forward. 10 reps, 5-second holds. None of this is meant to be a diagnosis, but get assessed before you start and get seen urgently for progressive weakness, saddle numbness, or any loss of bladder or bowel control. If you guys have any questions, please let us know and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.